Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. In today's topic, I'm going to be talking about the time that I lost my car to a tire explosion. It was a big loss for me when this happened because not only that I still don't have a car while I'm recording this right now, but I don't even have a job to buy a car yet. I'm going to need a car pretty soon, especially this summer because I still have plans to move out of my parents' house. I'd like to be able to have reliable transportation before I have to leave the house. But before we get into this video, please make sure to give this video a like, subscribe and click the bell for daily post notifications, share this video to anybody that's ever lost a car, and let's play Losing a Car to a Tire Explosion. One day I was hanging out with a friend. For the sake of keeping real names excluded, we'll call him Chris. This takes place at a gas station about a month and a half ago on a Sunday night. After sitting in the car for a bit looking for moves, the move was to pick up another friend so we all could go to another friend's house. We'll also call the guy getting picked up Michael and the dude whose crib we went to, Jackson. So we went to Jackson's house. We were all just hanging around looking for something to do. We ate some food, watched some videos, watched Jackson play Call of Duty, and had to deal with the dogs that were absolute tweaks whenever the front door would open. Man, that was annoying. But really, it was more of a kickback kind of night. We didn't have school the next day because this was the day before Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Once again, rest in peace to the guy who died for black people to have rights. Eventually, Jackson's mom decided to ask us if we could get some snacks for the house at Quick Trip, which was only a couple blocks away, and I also had to drop off Jackson back to his house because he had plans with somebody else. I agreed with those moves, and we got ready to leave. Jackson also has to use a wheelchair because his legs don't work. We had to carry him out the door because of the little case of stairs under the door. Once we were about to hop in the car, I noticed something pretty bad. My front driver's side tire was dead flat. The tire was perfectly fine when we all came to the house about a few hours prior, so I attempted to drive to Quick Trip for their tire pump, and that was pretty unsuccessful considering the rubber on the tire was getting loose and there was compressed snow all over the road. I pulled over to the side of the road and started brainstorming on how I was going to get my car moving again. I then remembered that I'd had a jack and a bolt remover in the trunk along with the spare tire, so I got everything set up and I couldn't even get the jack going. It was like 10 degrees outside and the warmest piece of clothing I had on was a sweatshirt. I didn't have gloves either, which sucked because the jack was metal, obviously. My fingers were so cold just from touching the jack it started to hurt. So I couldn't make much use for myself. Michael actually ended up calling his buddy he had plans with to see if he can pull up with some gloves. So he ends up coming through. He puts the jack under the car in the most appropriate spot for a road that has compressed snow all over it. He then gave me the gloves to take the bolts off the tire. In fact, I still have the bolts chilling right next to me in my dresser right here. Man, I miss my car. I got the bolts off and I almost got the tire off. Due to the amount of snow that was on the ground, it was kind of difficult to take the tire off. Plus, the jack was already starting to tilt due to the force I had to use to get the bolts off the tire. But right when I got the tire, the jack gave up. It bent, the car fell to the ground, and the weight from the car actually threw me on the ground, and I got hurt. My shin was smashed against the tire I had taken off, and I fell on the ground. So, after I got up and recovered, I realized that I was kind of screwed. The front of the car was low to the point where the rotor was touching the snow, and the metal piece under the car that you place the jack under to lift up was too close to the ground to even fit a jack under it. I was afraid to try another jack anywhere else from under the car because there was a good chance that I would break something from underneath the car. Jesus Christ. So after a while, I realized that I'm pretty much completely screwed and that I needed to find a way to get my car towed back to my house. Michael ended up leaving with his friend to attend to the plans they had. I think they went bowling. Chris and I had to help Jackson get back to his house. He was in the back seat of the car the entire time this happened. Chris got his wheelchair from his house, brought it to the car, and we got him back home. As for the car, it was going to stay there for a little while. Chris was then lucky enough to get an Uber by his house since I was supposed to be his ride home. I ended up having to walk and freeze my ass off for 20 minutes just to get back home. So, after a few days of the car sitting there, I was still unable to get the car towed, My parents didn't want to do it because it was too expensive and I didn't have a job or any money at the time to get this solved on my own. Once I went by my car again, I noticed that I had a couple parking citations that came up to $40. Pretty cheap for parking tickets, but like I said, I didn't have a job or any money, so those parking citations were going to be a big problem, along with losing my car and still owing my friend that gave me that car. On Friday night of the same week, I got a text from Jackson saying that they had finally impounded my car. I had clothes, change, and an application for an internship program in that car. The internship program was offered to me by my probation officer while I was on probation to get me interested in certain careers I can get into in life, but since my car got towed, I don't have the proper transportation to keep up with that opportunity. Not going to lie, I was pretty upset that I had lost another car. I had only had the car for almost 6 months. I'm almost 18 now and I still don't have a car. When I went to the towing company, they told me a bunch of things that I didn't want to hear. They told me that I needed to show them all of the legal credentials at the police station, the stuff you're supposed to have before you drive a vehicle, such as a license, registration, and insurance. I didn't have insurance on the car anymore because the owner of that car found out that I didn't have a job anymore, meaning that I wouldn't be able to continue making payments for the car, so he just took the insurance off. That meant that not only that I'd have to pay almost $200 to get my car out the day after it was impounded, along with additional fees that are added for each day that the car sits at the impound lot, I'd have to pay another $300 just to get the car towed back to my house, and I'd still have to deal with the no tire situation on my own, too. In conclusion of this story, I had finally decided to accept the L I got and left the car at the impound lot for good. I lost a bunch of clothes and such because I didn't have the motivation to get anything back. I still haven't gotten a court date for the parking tickets, still haven't found a job since, and now I'm stuck at home making this video because it's too cold outside to go for a walk or too dead to do anything. The end. Well, that's going to be it for this video. Thank y'all for watching. I really appreciate it. If y'all like this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and click the bell for daily post notifications if you're new to my content. Share this video to anybody that has ever gotten their car impounded or has ever dealt with a flat tire. Follow me on all of my social media. The links will be in the description below. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace out. Sauce.